Recording in progress.
Well, I want not me, I don't want them. You don't want to see you all the time? Oh, it's not recognizing right now.
Other days, you know.
Oh, yeah. Just 3 days. I probably have to go.
We're not for the out, we all connect in.
When is your surgery gonna be?
No, you're not
Something like
plugged in.
January, February.
No wonder it wants to just look at me.
Doctor, you had to go through the heart.
Yeah, you gotta do all the
That's a
tests
hard
and
doctor.
everything. Oh, okay.
Gonna see the surgeon again on the 3rd. I seen him this last week.
Uh-huh.
Then I'll go back and see him again after the heart doctor clears me, I guess.
Okay.
Hello.
When did I just? But in a way, you know, you always say, well, I just get it over with, right? Just get it over.
Sure.
Yeah, well, they were supposed to set me up
next time.
2020 to do the hip. So COVID, they put it off, so it didn't happen, and so
Oh,
I have good times. Sometimes I go 5 or 6 months. And, I can tolerate it,
yeah,
and then sometimes don't, just have to be, this time it's
it's no.
a no-go.
Oh, so Sherry, how you doing?
Yeah, John.
I'm okay, how are you?
Doing okay.
Yeah. Federal government shutdown is not exactly, been fun.
Oh, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Mhm.
Yeah, they shut it down, but I sure got my tax bill okay.
Oh, of
That worked out
course.
good.
Isn't that the way it normally normally is?
And I said, I wish there was something we should all do, you know, I don't know what, that would get their attention, but.
Right.
You know,
One thing, they shouldn't be getting a check.
no, that's,
No, they
nobody should, that's
If,
right,
if the government shuts down, they're the government.
that's right. No, I agree with that,
And
but I
I'll
mean,
tell you,
that's,
it wouldn't take them long.
There's a bill going up to make it where they can't get paid now.
Yeah, but do you think that would be likely they're gonna pass that before
and
everything
then by the
occurs?
time if they pass it, it'll
They'll
be.
have a budget.
It'll be, oh, yeah, they'll have the budget, and then maybe
Exactly.
it'll last a couple of years or something, until the next one comes in.
No, I think the worst part about this whole situation is he came down to Senate and said that he wanted to pay law enforcement,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the entire Bureau of Prisons, from HR all the way to warden, are sworn federal officers of law enforcement, right? But only one job code's gonna get paid.
There's only what,
One job
One
code is
job?
gonna get paid. Yep, out of the entire prison,
Yeah.
just the correctional officers. And I went, how do you define that?
Yeah, everybody should.
I never-
Exactly.
Everybody should.
How are you? So now it's causing strife in the institutions on top
Yeah,
of
but when everybody.
inmates getting your ears, you know? Now it's causing strife with everything else
Yeah,
too, so
I didn't blame them.
it's beautiful.
Gosh, how could we have a meeting when the Dodgers are playing?
Last night they played forever.
I know it.
God, I was up
can't
to, I was
stay
up
awake.
to,
I told, did you?
I
stay
watched the
awake?
whole thing, yeah.
I did,
I couldn't believe it. Every time I get in position to win,
Yeah,
it fell apart.
yeah.
Finally, the
Somebody struck me
18th
out.
inning,
Yeah.
18 innings.
I saw that part. I did see that. I just woke up and I said, oh my God, there's so many ladies.
I know. I was like,
They're just starting now.
It
They're
was
just singing the
insane.
Star Spangled Banner, so.
Yeah, it is the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
the World Series.
Oh, I thought this.
Game three.
No, this is.
Oh, this is-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
game,
Ray's watching it.
and game 3 is the only one it's ever went to 18 innings, and every time it's in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Well, they took last year final tomorrow.
that's right.
Yeah, they took it.
and then, well, they're up 2-1 now, game wise. They finally won after 18 innings last night.
Yeah.
And that reliever pitcher has never went over 2 innings in his whole career. And he went 4 last night and won the game. So they'll remember him now. He'll have his place cemented in history now.
Right, right.
Thank you.
Maybe we can get it on there.
You must be a diehard.
Well, not really. I mean, I watch it, but,
Yeah.
If
He's
I didn't
probably
see
got it
it,
recorded,
I
don't
wouldn't,
worry, it's probably recorded.
Ray's home, so he'll tell me what's going on.
I'm doing it.
I usually fall asleep. Oh, God, I do. Fall asleep.
They went up.
My new side.
No, no.
Find out what happened.
They went up 377.
Stay awake.
No, they haven't
It's
gone to-
ridiculous.
This is
I believe
what happens.
it did a,
He's got a movie he wants to watch. Oh, shoot him up.
Yeah.
Western.
No, not
It's back
about,
then.
just the arm, oh, I love military movies.
It depends. If
I
they
think it's,
carried away with.
my what's name is too hot.
gory
Well, if it's
things.
bloody and gory, yeah,
Yeah.
but.
So I wait, that's why.
That's
it's
it.
on,
Mhm.
film that kind of
Rather
movie I
than
wanna watch.
the house.
I wanna go to some
Okay,
place.
take this medicine here. So,
That's the
That's
way, that's the way.
it's out of my, that's what they think.
Watch that. After I go. there.
Yeah, there you go.
It's an expensive medicine.
Oh, I bet you.
Yeah,
He said, "It's just didn't see.
they have
it."
no,
Does insurance help?
And then he turned it
Yeah,
up
but
because
this,
it's.
fall asleep like this
send
with
doctor.
the remote in his hand. See, my husband used to do that too. So what I did is I
Yes,
put it in
no, we
remote
pay
on my
That's
phone.
fine.
And they talk about that or the.
At 5:30, it's not
I
5:30.
go out in the garage, because I don't use nicotine inside my house, so I would go out to my garage. Cause I could see through my TV, and I would turn the volume down.
Actually wants to make it clear.
Hey, problem,
Yeah.
meeting to order, we do a flag salute,
Hey.
30.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Here.
Yes, Sherry's here. Mr. Harris,
Here.
Mrs. Johnson,
Here.
and Everett's here. So we're all here. We're a short one, but we're here. We're gonna do the approval of the agenda.
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Public comment? Do we have anything on Zoom this time?
Nope.
And nobody here wants to say something, so I guess we. Okay, we're gonna go to policy 4005 quarterly review norms.
According to our policy, the board is asked to review our norms on a quarterly basis. Our district clerk has informed me it was time to do that again. And the norms on the Bastille, it's our implementation, relationship norms, communication norms, process norms, and capacity norms.
Relationships.
I think it's a better thing.
Any questions on the
No.
norms? Okay,
I think my favorite one on communication is always check your assumptions, so CYA.
okay. Number 7, minutes review and possible action to approve the minutes from September 23rd, 2025 regular board meeting. Carrie, you have anything on that?
I do not.
Mr. Harris,
No, I do not.
Mrs. Johnson wasn't here.
Abstention.
Okay. I'll move it. We approve the minutes from the September 23, 2025 regular board meeting.
I'll second.
Jerry second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed,
Abstention.
rejection, or abstain, whatever. Anyway, you were with here.
I want physically or mentally.
You can go that far.
I would.
Budget for 2026 budget meeting
Financial,
proposal. Oh, I'm sorry.
Number 8.
Yeah. Yeah, financial review and file for September 25 financial statements.
so the September check register is attached, the bank account spreadsheet, the other regular investment spreadsheet, which includes interest to date of 62,386. Mile sheets were included, total monies in the bank is a little over 2.3. Any questions or comments on the financials?
Neil, you have anything, questions on finances?
No, I don't.
Mr. Harris,
No, no, sir, thank you.
Mr. Kelsler?
No.
So,
The item to review and file, motion to review.
right. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to review and file.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Yeah, okay. Okay, budget for 2026 budget meeting proposal.
So, Brianna and I are in the middle of trying to get together some numbers for your budget meeting and, didn't know, cause you need to have it, you know, for the December meeting to approve the budget. Didn't know if you, what you availability schedules were, thinking either, a Tuesday night, oh, we have your public meeting, I guess it was Tuesday, November 25th. Which is the Tuesday of the week before Thanksgiving at 5:30, or possibly like if Friday was better, like at 10 a.m., thinking that you could get more of the community, but I just forgot about Miss Sherry because you've got working hours.
I do, and meeting that day too, so that's why I'm checking my calendar. I'm okay with November 25th. I don't know about anybody else, but
That day works for me also. 25th of November.
That's right, so
Yeah. Sorry, been able to get.
Yeah.
administrators,
I'm okay. I don't see anything.
You sure?
I'm sure.
There was some we started, I mean, it's something that we should do as a budget meeting, but I mean, another possibility is if, like Sherry and Johnny want to meet with Brianna and I, and we could review it, and you guys could have any questions, and then you guys could bring it back to the board in December to approve what you guys had decided on, but it's kind of nice to have the, you know, I don't think, usually our two faithfuls always come, but we don't always have a lot of people from the public that show up either, so.
right?
I just don't like you just have to see it in December, decide. It'd be nice if we had a meeting ahead of time, so if there's any questions.
What day of the week is that, 25th?
The 25th is a Tuesday.
Huh?
Tuesday. It's the last
I'm trying
Tuesday.
not to have any doctor's appointments.
That's the week during Thanksgiving.
That's what?
The Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving.
The
Yeah,
Tuesday
I
before
realize that, but it doesn't matter much. The VA will put you in there on Sunday. It didn't. Had Sunday meeting.
Well, I'm just saying for
Yeah.
everybody.
Not
I realize it was
There's a lot of people
Thanksgiving
take
time, but
vacations on Thanksgiving.
So the 18th is
That's our regular
November
board meeting.
25th.
Just, okay, the 20, okay, I got the 18th, okay.
The eighteenth is our regular board
The
meeting.
18th is a
Okay.
regular board meeting.
They like us so much, they want us back.
Oh,
Well, at our next board meeting, the two big things you have is the hearing for the rate study and then your decision on a new board member. Um, I don't know if you'd want to try to throw a budget meeting in the middle of that or not. I mean, it just depends if the hearing's in and out, kind of like how the community meeting was, then it would be easy to do the budget meeting during the board meeting on the 18th.
Have you gotten any protests so far?
None.
None.
Not even questions.
We could
That's odd,
probably
'cause
do
usually
it during
that's
the
when people
18th
wanna
board
come,
meeting.
you know?
The only reason why I say that is because we didn't have hardly anybody at the community meeting, and if there's no protests so far, and here we are coming to the tail end of October, it's likely we're not gonna get anybody on the 18th.
And even if we do, it would only maybe be one or two people.
Right, and it could be addressed very quickly.
And it is just them letting you know their protest and then up to them to do a written protest at that time. So because you guys decide actually in December on the rates themselves, so we're giving everybody a chance through the 18th. So yeah, we could really just try to make sure that November board meeting, I don't think I have anything else. It's only two things I think I have so far on the agenda for November is the hearing and voting in a new board member. So we could, dedicate 30 minutes to 20 to 30 minutes, even if and probably if we did it during a board meeting, it probably only take 15. We did it during, I think last year was probably one of the bigger times that we went over it, and it was what, 45 minutes maybe we were here last year for the budget meeting.
I like the idea of combining it on the eighteenth and leaving the week of Thanksgiving alone, truly.
That's why I thought originally, I was thinking when I was coming up with dates, I thought, oh, the Friday morning would be really good because then more people are off work and then until just now, and I'm sorry, Sherry, I was like, I forget that you
Yeah.
have a working board member now.
Friday 10 a.m.s, unfortunately, I have meetings, so every Friday.
Well, and you're probably busy with people being off work, you're probably busier in your office on Fridays too.
Oh, I bet you.
No, not typically.
Okay,
Reality is, it's just, unfortunately, I have a meeting every Friday, so
okay.
at that same time. Otherwise, I'd be fine with it.
So should we throw that we're leaning towards is going for our next board meeting on the 18th?
Yeah.
Make the budget meeting then?
Yes.
Okay, I will make sure and have that ready for you. And if I can, I'll try to get the budget to you before the board packets, if not, the same, include it to the board packet. Just 18, thank you.
Now we're gonna go to Shaw Engineering. Progress of recoding the elevated tank project and action item to ratify the first check paid to. Yeah, unified.
So
You got a letter here from,
Owen is having his first wedding anniversary, so he's taking, I think, his first vacation that he's taken in a year. Taking a couple of days, so he really apologized. He had hoped to zoom in today, but he doesn't have very good connections, so he sent this letter. Letting you know that he apologized for not making the board meeting tonight. And then he give you a letter, and he said, so for you all, it says United Field Service Corporation, the contractor, began work properly after the last board meeting and been responsive and respectful to all the district and Shaw Engineering's concerns. As you may have seen recently, they have construction scaffolding up the side of the tank, which your general manager and I climbed to take a look at the inside of the tank. We observed widespread coating damage that was even worse than what was presented in the 2022 inspection report. This means that this project is a worthwhile and meaningful and was done at the correct time before damage to the steel occurred. Construction materials engineering inspection has been provided special inspections for the project, ensuring environmental conditions are consistent and sandblasting is uniform. The most recent work activity completed was the stripe coat on the upper bowl of the tank. This aligns with the project schedule provided. The team will work this week to coat the remainder of the upper bowl and then begin work on the center pipe. He's excited to see you all next month, the board meeting, and looks forward to providing a substantial update to the project. Royce and Ken and I were over at the tank yesterday, and the CME, the construction materials engineer inspectors, Miss Emily, who Royce and I visited with her for probably over 2 hours yesterday. She's very thorough, and I'm very impressed with her. But so, and I, kind of my understanding was I was thinking, well, when I got up there on the scaffolding with Ellen, a few weeks back, they had all the scaffolding inside and I crawled, I mean, it's just like a 24-inch hole. So I have these two little skinny guys going through this hole and I followed them in, and then there's scaffolding inside. So we climbed the scaffolding up, and then there's just, a ladder that actually goes to the top hatch. And so I went up on the top hatch and checked up the damage up there and where our SCADA system connects. So didn't even think about it being inside there and, seeing everything in person. But they take and they sandblast for all the top portion. So that whole top sphere is all sandblasted. And then when he says stripe coating, that means any jagged or any edges, any welding edges or any corners or anything, they stripe coat it. So that way it's got like a double coat on those portions. And they're actually on their second coat of paint on the top sphere of the tank. And then next week they'll actually take all the scaffolding out of the inside of the tank and then finish sandblasting the bottom and the whole pipe that comes down, and then do the same 3 processes, but it gets the top portion to the bottom portion. Their owner operator thinks they'll be done by November 14th.
No.
Owen and I, and talking even to CME, she says they might be close to being done painting the inside, but we had the contractor calls for some touch up on any corrosion of the footing and places outside. And that's what I'm trying to get with Owen right now, is how much of that, because I think there's a couple of spots that we didn't see from the ground level that we've now seen on some of the beams, whether we wanted to pay part of that. Remember, he had had you guys sign a thing saying that we could pre-approve a little more monies if we needed anything. The only thing that, like on the walkway up there, there's a spot, unfortunately, that must have been some very large birds had a nest. There was no eggs, there was nothing up there when I went up there the first time. It was vacant and it looked like it had been vacant for a while, but unfortunately, that material, and it must have been for a while, kind of scraped that walkway, so there's no paint in that section. There's a good spot that needs recoated right on the walkway so it doesn't rust. And then most of the footing around the bottom just has a little touch up that needs sanded and repainted. So not a whole lot, but they're all saying this is a good time to do it because they're out here. The other thing that I've been researching for the last 48 hours is once they finish painting, how long it takes to cure. So it takes about 36 hours for the whole thing to cure. And then we put water, fill the tank up about halfway, take a sample. 2 days later, take another sample, and then we've got to wait till the 6th day and take a sample to the lab and make sure that there's nothing in the water that from all the painting process. And then we can put it back into service. But so even though once we say they're done, it'll probably be another week after that before we'll have it back in service. So, but it is pretty exciting. I was showing Johnny some of the pictures today of
Interesting.
when I was inside the tank. And
The
then,
only thing is potential board members have to climb up there and look.
I think that's appropriate since the office staff.
Yeah,
well, staff was requesting and the guys did.
I'm just teasing Teresa.
I was gonna say, just give me a parachute. Or an umbrella. Or an umbrella.
The thing that I
Like
thought-
Mary Poppins. There you go, there you go.
Teresa, you'll appreciate the thing I thought was really cool when I finished the scaffolding, is they actually have like a little elevator next to that scaffolding.
Oh,
That all the materials goes up on it. I mean, it's only about this wide, but it goes up and down.
oh, really?
So they don't have to carry it all. So,
And you don't have to.
But how
physically climb
liable
it.
is that little elevator though?
well, it's carrying
Quite a bit of weight.
quite a bit of weight, more than a person.
Oh,
So,
that's pretty interesting.
I think in case of emergency,
Yeah.
it could probably work, but yeah, the ladies have been asking to go up there, and so they worked 4 10s so they could have a 3-day weekend, because these guys are all from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to go home and see their families, and, so Friday after work, we went up there and not realize that Brianna is definitely fear of heights.
Oh.
She says she's not afraid of heights, she's afraid of falling from the
Yeah,
height.
falling from high rise.
Yeah, there you go.
But she took all of her pictures so she could document it more in her books for what the,
That's a great book that she's put together, it really is.
so she's did all that, but she
If
like
you-
I said.
if you
she
guys
didn't-
haven't
she
seen
put down.
The book that she's put together for our whole system, it's really interesting to see it. She can ask her about any section of it, and she'll turn to it and show you pictures of everything in that whole section, wherever you want to talk about. She's got pictures of everything, and she's documented all this stuff.
That's
It
pretty.
really is quite an undertaking that she took on.
And that's something she did all on her own.
Oh, yeah, and she was just,
The other thing that I was saying, we needed to review our safety sheets, and we were talking about that, and then this last week, she's decided that she's redoing all the safety sheets. But what she's found out now with the safety sheets, is they now have a RQ code. So she did like a fast safety sheet for the guys that have RQ codes, which, Race is gonna need paper, so she's working on that binder. But Ken is very happy because now he can just take his phone on any of those sheets and it's just right on your phone, all the information on any of the materials that we use. And so she's just updated all that, so. So then we have her 2-year anniversary coming in January, so I can't believe it's already been 2 years, but
she's been a really good asset.
yeah,
So it'll be 2 years that she's been here?
in January.
Oh, wow,
Mhm.
already?
Yeah. Yeah, so, another thing that I.
Longest 6 months of her life.
Unfortunately, we're paying them on a monthly basis, and so the check request comes after a board meeting, but I need to pay them before a board meeting. So I'm asking for the board to approve or ratify the first check that went out for the September billing of $43,830 for the contractors.
I make a motion that we approve it, being how I had to sign it.
Okay, second.
Have a second, second by Lee, okay. All those in favor say aye, opposed? Ayes carry it.
Fire department updates calls from August information.
12 calls in September, 12 medical calls. The building repairs are complete. We're just waiting on the garage door man to complete the railing for the door. And then we'll get the structure truck in there hopefully this week, and then the door back on, I believe, next week. So it should be off and running before the weather gets too bad. We do have another applicant, a Devin Cunningham. He actually comes to us. He was originally a Hurlon resident as a kid. And then they moved to Susanville and he's been a fire cadet for Susanville. And so he actually has quite a bit of experience training. He's an MR, EMR. And he's a contract operator on base and he's renting from Kim Dieter in West Patton Village. Nice young man, and he's pretty excited about things. So I got his application. I've got all of his certificates. I'm just waiting back on his blood test, for the board to approve him on the.
Question. Can he be approved pending clean blood work? That way he could start instead of waiting a whole nother month?
Sure.
But he can't go on any runs because until after the lab work is back.
Yeah.
Right, until when the lab work comes back, but I thought if we approve him now, he can hit the ground running instead of waiting another month. But we don't want to, he's really a hustler. And he's got a lot of ideas and I think he'll be real good for us in general. So I hate that, reason why I say that, I hate to slow him down, have to wait. So he gets his blood test back, say Friday, and he's gotta wait another month till we have another meeting. That was the only reason why I say that. If he doesn't pass, then he isn't on. But if we approve it, where he can join immediately. I think he'll pass. I'm pretty, about 99% sure we can, he'll pass, but you can't give him the nod until you have the official paperwork, of course, but I think it has the governing board for the board to not run any discouragement for a new applicant. Does anybody want to make a motion or do you want me to make the motion? I'll make a motion that we accept this young man pending his drug test before he can actually start.
I'll second it.
Oh, my God.
You almost did that verbatim.
No, please quote, you owe me a Coke.
Oh, my God.
It's the same enunciation.
It's been a fight.
Knock down, drag out, no, it's okay.
I'm too old to fight.
Double second.
Oh, my God.
Second.
You have any discussion on it, Lee?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. Then we got, I think we need to hit the training updates. What I missed you say that.
They've tried to clean up the barn a little bit, but I will say that, Devin encouraged everybody to go. Dawn Mateo has always done our monthly medical Tuesday. And she was doing them always at Janesville for this last year. She switched back to Susanville Fire Department. She's still a volunteer for Janesville and she works for Cinsta. But this last last Tuesday, both Mike and Devin went to Dawn Mateo. So I think Devin kind of is motivating more of them to go. I know Mike had kind of quit going because they were back at Susanville instead of Janesville. So it's nice that Devin makes them feel at home back in Susanville. So that was the training that they've done this month.
Any more questions about fire department comments? Lee?
Yeah, on the door, how much bigger is the roll-up door?
How much bigger?
Yeah, the roll-up door that
It
they,
was the same size.
oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I was looking at possibly replacing it or getting it bigger and with the engineering and with going into winter. Felt that it was more important right now just to get a door on there so we could keep water in the brush truck in case we had a fire this winter. And if we decide to make the door bigger in the long run, or go the other direction, then we can look at that in the future.
Okay.
I still would like to look at what it would take for a structural engineer to reinforce it, so we have the doors going out towards the highway. Which means also we would need to fix that gate a little better there too, but it would make more sense in an emergency to pull straight out instead of going out sideways,
Alright.
so.
Just make sure the doors are all down.
Up,
No, the doors on the fire truck, it
Yeah.
caused a wreck. That back door was up, straight up, and you don't see it in the mirrors.
That brings up a question. I having worked driving an ambulance as part of my job at the depot. Do the people go around the vehicle completely before they actually move the vehicle to see that everything is clear? That used to be a had to do when I was driving an ambulance. If
is.
you jumped in that vehicle, you better have walked around it and made sure everything was ready to go. So they just neglected doing that.
well, there was people that were also supposed to be citing for that neglected to put the door down. So,
Mike was putting stuff in that area, and then Mike decided, well, we need to move it. And didn't double check that the door was down. It was what they call an accident, an unfortunate one, but it did happen.
It's negligence is what it is. That's not an accident, it's negligence. Because there's a
Well,
protocol.
you-
There's
That's
a
like my
protocol for
motorhome.
how
I
you're
walk
supposed
around my
to-
motorhome
There's a
twice
protocol
and
for how
check.
you're supposed to do an emergency vehicle, and that is an emergency vehicle.
Yeah.
I think the problem is it's high enough, even if they walk around it, they can't see it unless it's,
It's higher in your eyesight, that's for sure.
I mean, it should have been shut, you're right, but they keep walking around, it doesn't allow them to see up on the very top. At a distance, keep the camera on it.
I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. We had people at the clinic do the same stupid thing. And I'm not going into it, so, but it was comical. The guy heard the thing going.
Oh, Lord.
And he kept going.
He's only gonna go away.
Yeah, it's like my motorhome. Yeah, I've walked around it once and not noticed something, then go back the second time and see something that I missed. You know, like the handle up, the extra handle I put on it sticks out. You know, I use it to climb up and down. For some reason, I can't see it, it sticks out. 18 friggin' inches. I'm going, well, that's weird. I did that in my travel trailer. One time I had the steps out. I mean, I got lucky enough it happened. But that type of stuff, you just sort of overlook it, I don't know why, but that's why. We always say, when you have something, you pull in a trailer, have a motorhome. Every time you stop at the gas station, whatever, walk around, check the hubs, see if they're hot. Make sure the chains are still where they're supposed to be. And nothing's wiggled loose, your wiring didn't come loose, so you don't have brake lights or something. It's just lots of little things that can happen. Your awning hasn't wiggled out or something for some unknown reason. As you'll see them going down Interstate 5, awning straight out or laying on the ground as they come out. You're going like, one guy was going down the highway, had his whole slide out. The slide outs were still out. I'm like, how do you miss a slide out being out? It was like, okay, so, but, sometimes even when you double check, you can miss something, is all I'm saying, but when you're moving that emergency vehicle, you're not supposed to have any errors. All right,
I have one question, and
Yes.
it's just because I don't know, maybe what building number 145, is that the gym? Is that the
I
gym?
think so.
Because I was looking at the run and I was trying to figure out what building is building 145 for Sierra Army Depot. they had a run out there. To that building,
Right?
building 145.
That, isn't that, CYS?
I don't know, but I was asking.
It's CYS.
It was CLA, okay. I was just kind of trying to figure out what building it was, yeah.
Or it wasn't 2067, that was the old building that the post office is in.
Yeah.
I know that, I only there 21 and a half years, so I actually remember that number. Okay, policy. 4097-2, ratify, advertise, and fill the vacant director's seat.
So our last board meeting, the board directed me to advertise, so that you guys could vote and elect your own person compared to going to a November election or next year's election and saving the district, $5,000. And we've always done that, past practices. But when I brought it up to our attorney, he wanted to make sure that we ratified because it wasn't on the agenda, it wasn't agendized. We had just gotten, Mr. Flores's letter and I had sent those out to all of you. And then I asked for direction in my GM report and he would have preferred to have seen it as an agendized item, so the board takes correct action on the item.
Well, being how we had the meeting before his final date too.
Correct.
Okay, did he put September 30th, if I remember
He did.
correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make the motion, policy 4097-2, ratifying, we advertise to fill the vacant director's seat. And a second,
That's it.
all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Okay, you two. Thank you. And a note on that, I think everybody knows that we've been very fortunate so far. We have 3 applicants.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a choice instead of only one person.
All 3 of their applications are attached just for you guys to review, and the next board meeting, you guys, in the past, when we've had more than one, we've done interviews or asked, the board is privy to ask questions to those applicants. And then make a decision in open session. So.
Okay, policy 3039, review and possible action to waive one-time fees requested by a property owner. We were here last month and a gentleman came in and asked if we could waive the fees for 108. Is it 108 Manzanita?
Yeah.
And geez, memory's getting better. Okay. And personally, I don't feel we should waive the fees. Because a person's, if you read all the stuff that's been told to that person and how many times he's asked, how many times he's denied wanting it turned off, did not make it official. I think it goes back on the property owner on this particular case.
So that would be my pro, what Johnny is saying, because I don't feel like our policy actually gives him the choice. The other thing I will say on the property owner's behalf is he has never lived in a house. Before we did the project, he was paying the $75 that all West Patton Village people were paying at that point in time. And then I had asked him about the vacancy, if he wanted us to turn it off, and he said, no, every time I've talked to him, it's no, I'm gonna fix it up and get a renter in there. I'm gonna fix it up and get a renter in there. So on that note, I would say absolutely, Johnny. But on the note for the property owner or for the board to consider is that he's never lived there. So I don't know if you wanna waive a one-time fee or unfortunately his bill you know, he would gripe about it, and then once a year come in and pay like $800. If you look back on his bill, I think you're. In 2023, he paid $890. In 2024, he paid $689. He's made a couple of little payments, you know, back in 22 and kept it up. So it's, you know, I'd almost, I don't know. But he's never, yes, we've been supplying it to his place and he has all the updates, but he actually has never lived in that. Nobody's lived there. So do you take the $1,600 and split that in half as a thank you for coming in and voicing your opinion? Or do you just say no because he doesn't meet the policy? That's you guys' discussion.
Hey,
Hey,
Sherry,
devil's advocate, I'm gonna say this, okay? I have 112 units on my property. I don't live in any of my vacant units. Nobody lives in them until I'm ready to rent them out. In the meantime, my services stay on. Now, that's a choice that we've made, yes. But he made the elected choice after being asked a multitude of times of whether or not to put in vacancy status. And every single time he said no with the intention of bringing it back and refurbishing it to rent it out. That was a choice he made,
What's the point he made the other night too?
right? That's where I'm at. I don't believe that I believe the policy should stay as is because he's been asked too many times.
Mr. Harris?
No comment.
Okay. Mrs. Johnson, I know you weren't here,
No, but I've read this and just informationally. I tend to agree with Sherry. It goes back to a couple of board meetings that stick in my head where one of our board members was saying, well, that doesn't apply to us because we're such a small community. If you roll up on a stop sign in a small community, you better stop.
Right.
And having, like this guy knows, I don't know this man personally, it doesn't matter if I did or not, but you know what's supposed to be, and if you choose not to, and the key word there is choose not to, there are repercussions. Unfortunately, that's the way I feel. I mean, because if you do this for him, you're gonna have to do it for somebody else.
Exactly. That's
And
the
then you're
other
gonna have to try to
concern.
justify it. And then someone is gonna be, well, why did you do that for him and you didn't do it for me? Oh, yeah, so I agree with Sharon, so for him, I'm sorry for him, but on the other hand, I'm not, so.
Did you decide to make a comment, Mr. Harris, or are you still mute?
Hmm?
Are you gonna still be mute, or do you have something to say?
No, what was said makes a lot of sense.
I have a motion.
Make that motion, Sherry. Go ahead. I dare you. I'll back you up.
I'll make the motion that he still needs to pay his bills.
I'll
And
second
I
that.
noticed that he finally did submit a letter there that he wants it put into vacancy,
Yep,
finally.
Yeah.
So,
dated October the 16th.
I'm literally, 10 days ago, well, 12 days ago. I'll make a motion that he still needs to pay his bill going forward. It's being turned off. We can work with him going forward, but I think the past debt needs to be paid.
Okay, been moved and second by Mrs. Johnson, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? None. Thank you. Okay, audit information discussion for 2025.
So we don't have a contract with our current auditor, and our current auditor has been with us for several years, and they would happily redo our audit again, but it was brought to our attention last year to advertise for an RFP, which would be our due diligence as a district to do that. I believe our auditors now would answer that RFP. So I started putting together an audit, and I was working on it again before this meeting, but our annual audit fees is about $6,500 annually for our audits. And then if we have any independent projects, which with our SRF, we had two that year cost us a little bit more because it was like 3,000 for each one of the SRF loan grants. Besides our regular audit, but as a whole, it should be around that same price, or we could go out to bid and see if we can get something lower or see if somebody else would. I know that I was talking to, I went to Susanville Sanitary District, board meeting. And they put out an audit and they couldn't even find an auditor and was asking me about it, but I asked them, did you advertise in California special districts? I said, they have a free RFP because you're a member. And they had put it in SusanvilleStuff.com and thought they had done their due diligence. So I had recommended our auditors to send them a letter, and then SDRMA is using Nigro. And I've heard great reviews with them, and I did talk to them in quite length at the fall conference, the fall CSDA conference, and I said, they're one of the reasons years ago when you put in, you guys, most auditors today wants the staff to set and PDF file everything to them, and they don't come to your office. And that's what I really love about our current auditors is they are in Truckee, they come over, and they could spend more time here, but they probably spend 2 to 3 days here gathering the information. Whether they scan it or we scan certain documents so that their head auditor can review it more thoroughly away from our office, but at least they touch our books.
Right.
As you guys, I'm sure through the years have seen, I fill those tables up with all of our binders, because they go through the credit cards and the financials and, everything, all of our banks, books, and splits it. And when I talked to Nigro, they did say that if we requested them, that they would come. They do have an office outside of Sacramento. They have offices in Southern California and Walnut Creek. But I don't know what their cost would be for them to get here. That's, being an old auditor, I still like the idea of them at least coming for a day or two and looking at our physical books, because to me, you're missing part of the audit process by having a employee send you the information, because either they could be making up that information as they're sending it to you, or giving you the wrong information, or we didn't have it, so let's add it today, kind of deal. Or when you're right there and they're looking at it. And it's a picture in time, and it's nice to see that done. And I always welcome an audit, because if we're missing something, let's change it, let's make it better, where and it's nice. I've always said, like, an auditor and I always feel like, as a bookkeeper at heart and a tax return person, that kind of like a doctor. The longer that I do your taxes, the longer that I do your bookwork, the better I know you, the more things that I can find that I can audit even more, because maybe year one, I just got overwhelmed by seeing all your books, but year two, I now know that, hey, you have a plant here and you've got the wells and this and that, and then you've got a bigger and a better idea of what's going on with that customer, just like your own health, when doctors looks at you at the first time, oh, you're a spitting image of perfect health, but then, you limp out and they're like, oh, well, we didn't notice that. So that's up to you guys. I was putting that together. That's as far as I got when the board packet was put together, but I'm more than willing to finish the audit RFP and put that out and advertise that. I can advertise it in Susanville Stuff, but I would prefer to advertise it in California Special Districts. It's free to advertise through there. And then you get, and you can also do the League of Cities. So you get qualified auditors that are willing to, you know, give you an RFP. Whether that would help or change or, you know, end up with the same auditors, I don't know. So I just wanted direction from you guys, whether you wanted to go forward with that or see if we can tie up a contract with our current auditors.
Have any ideas on this, Sherry?
It wouldn't hurt, in reality, I mean, you know, at least we would have a contract with someone. Because, do they raise their rates at all, or I mean, do they change their rates on us at any given?
They
time?
haven't, our last, extension for 2 years was this last year, and they kept the same rate that they had asked us, 3 years before that.
Okay.
So we've been paying the same rate for the last 3 audit periods. But they, you know, asked
But
for a
without
new
contract?
contract, they could ask for a large dollar amount, cause like everything else, things have gone up, so.
Right,
By an RFP, at least you might get a better idea of what other people are asking, and they may end up being a negotiating tool for you too.
right. Well, that and the other side of the coin is they may actually put it into a contractual term and raise the rate at the same time, and we just lost that rate we had, you know, it's kind of a, do we do it or do we not? It's kind of where I'm at, do we or do we not? I wouldn't be opposed to it, just to try and lock in a contract, that way they can't raise the rate. Just because everything's going up, it would help us immensely, I would think.
Mr. Harris, you think we need to put it out for bid or keep the people we got? Basically, that's what the question is.
We have to put it out for bid.
Huh?
Do you have to put it out for bid?
No, you guys can stay with your same accountants, but it is good for the board to review this every 3 to 5 years. And, you know, whether you're happy with your audits that you've received in the past. I know 3 of you guys have seen the last 3 years' audits that they've done. So they work well with staff.
Mrs. Johnson?
Things running around in my head. My main thing is if Sandy and Brianna and Miss Lady there, if y'all, Barbara, thank you. My brain doesn't work all the time. If y'all think that this is a good idea to stay with the same auditors, I'm okay with that, but I worry a little bit about complacency. And then I also have some flashbacks from some previous board members with trust issues.
Well, and that's why it probably would be good to do an RFP, just so that we have, that you guys have done your due diligence, you've looked. And if we end up with the same auditors at the end of the day, we end up with the same auditors at the end of the day. But at least you guys have done your due diligence to see what other firms are available. The other thing is, you know, I had recommended our firm that we've been using to quite a few, because a couple years ago, the local auditor that was, I want to say out of Chester, he passed away and left a lot of special districts in our area without an auditor. So, and Carol Curry was a big audit for a lot of special districts, and I don't know, but Carol's probably close to 80 now, so I don't believe that she's doing audits anymore, but I can't say that I haven't asked her personally.
Is that what, Carol?
Carol Curry, CPA. Yeah, I worked for Carol for.
Yeah, we had her for Patton Village. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
I know Patty does too. I was just teasing.
I did several of West Patton Village's audits and Susanville Sanitary District audits when I was working for Carol.
I have a question. So the auditor that you have now is from Truckee?
Correct.
Okay. And that auditor has been coming out for how long now? Has been doing this for
5 years?
5 years? So my question to you, being that you all work in the office and you deal with it, are you happy with that auditor?
I'm very satisfied with the auditor. What's kind of unique about our audits is when I put the books together in 2008, special districts usually run from July 1st to June 30th.
Mhm.
And because I was an old auditor, I hated taking half of 1 year's payroll and another half of 1 year's payroll and doing spreadsheets for the whole thing. And so I made sense to me back then to do a January through December.
Mhm.
So a lot of places may welcome us having a December 31st because that puts us in the place where they don't have other audits.
Mhm.
So they can do our audit like in March and April.
Right.
And everybody else's year end doesn't end till June 30th, so they can't even start doing audits until usually July or August. So their July through the end of December really fills up because your state controllers has to be done within 3 to 6 months
Mhm.
of your year end.
Right.
So state still doesn't like that we're that way, so they're always saying we're late. And we always have to send them a letter every year reminding them what our year end is.
Right.
They think that we're a year behind when we're actually 6 months ahead of everybody.
Yeah, but you're happy with how it is, how he does it, okay.
And I've been other places where they've done audits, and one of the things I liked about them was, and them being here, was if they had a question, they'd ask it, and then Brianna or Sandy could go and get it right then and there.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't like you wait 3 weeks and then get a note as to where was this certain thing, and it was Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
The other thing that makes me comfortable about that is that I believe Brianna is right on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't have to worry about her not knowing where it is. She
Mhm.
knows where everything is,
Mhm.
where all the mice are hiding.
And their babies too.
I'll make a motion that we keep the same auditors.
I'll second that, Bill.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay, now we're gonna go to the dreaded fire tax. And
Boy, I hear a lot of.
being how I had a preview, on the fire tax. That if you have vacant land, then 3% will make it 666.66.
Which would be 66.67, because you always round up if it's above 5.
Okay, well, still it's 666, so
Well, I did,
I didn't like that
No,
number, so personally,
I don't either.
so I just assumed we didn't even raise it. Or come up with a lower number, because maximum's 3%, is that what it is?
so after you left, I did 2 resolutions, not knowing which one you guys wanted. So one stating that we didn't raise the rates for 7 years. Up until last year, we changed it to 136.54 and unimproved property at 64.71, which was the 3% increase from that. The other proposal would be 3% for improved property, which is $140.64 is 3%, so that raises fire tax $4 for $4.10 for everybody that has a house. And then making the unimproved property go from 64.71 to 65.71, so basically raising it $1. So we don't have the 6666. So either the same last year we got behind on getting fire taxes out. We really like to get them out, or most all the county taxes go out December 1st. And last year we didn't, the board with everything did not get it decided until after the December meeting. So we were late getting them out as well. Trying to get this information back as fast so we can start preparing our 700 fire taxes so they can go out in December.
Question. Overall, how much with the $4.10 for a regular house and 65, whatever it is, the other. What the difference in it, how much would it give us as more income if everybody paid?
That's if everybody did.
I got that.
It would be right close to 3,000 extra.
Yeah.
For improved properties.
So about half the price of fixing the door.
So when you say improved property, what exactly?
So the way the Measure A is stated.
That's your house.
when the county did it for West Patton Village, is anything, if you've taken a dry piece of land and you've put a pole on it, electrical or anything else, that's the improved property.
Or drilled a well
Or drilled a well, anything on it,
and seen.
that's improved property, and that puts you to the 136. If you have a piece of land that has never been touched, or it doesn't have anything on it but weeds or
Mhm.
dirt, then that's unimproved.
Okay, so, those, vacant or, those, extra lots that they just now put in the new phone, or the new electrical poles. So is that gonna raise that person's,
Good question.
is that gonna
So
raise
this was
their?
Down on the flats
Mhm.
that several years back, probably 2020, 2021, I had a lady say, you know, I bought this vacant piece of property.
Mhm.
I don't have anything on it. So I took a district car and went down there through an alley,
Mhm.
and there's this piece of property between two fences. The only thing, and I walked it, it was very, I mean, I don't think the property was probably bigger than this. Had this building, but there was electrical going through it, and the county was calling that an improved piece of property because there was an electrical.
So that's my question, being that all these poles have been going up and I still call it Title IX. I don't
Thank
care
you.
for West Patton Village, but anyway, so all those poles, cause today they worked on a pole between, on my neighbor to the right of me, plus that neighbor. And so it's improved, so are their taxes gonna go up for that?
If they already.
If it's on their land?
If it's already an improved property, it's not gonna change. If it's a vacant piece of property that they don't have anything on it, like the back
Uh-huh,
lots.
uh-huh,
Cause I mean, Johnny and a few of the other ones are blessed to have, unfortunately, Johnny pays double because he has his vacant lot, he's improved it.
right. Mhm.
But there's a lot of them that have vacant lots that are unimproved and they pay the cheaper for the lot
Okay.
behind them. So, I did make the decision 4 or 5 years ago on that person's lot, and there still has nothing been on that lot.
Okay.
Just to charge them the unimproved,
Yeah.
with the telephone pole.
Because they did not improve it. Somebody else put it on their property.
It was going through their property for another place.
Yeah, that doesn't
They
make
were
sense.
lucky to have the luxury of having a pole there, but these people owned the property, lived out of state.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know, and you guys probably have more history than I do, because in the last 20 years, I don't know what I think when the prison came in, and they knew the prison came in the early 90s, they thought this was gonna be the booming town, and they sold a lot of these little parcels.
Mhm.
We have so many unimproved pieces of property that the
Mhm.
people don't live here, never even seen the property. The people that bought the Frontier building, he thought he had lakeside property
Oh.
on Pole Line.
We're
My
shocked to
goodness.
know that he didn't have any windows
Oh.
Yes.
or a bathroom.
Well, you know, it's really sad that when people have a land, extra lots, and they improve them. So I don't think that they should raise their taxes because they're improving the looks, you know, around, and those that are not improving their.
As long as they don't put a well or,
Yeah, well,
a
that's.
building
illegal.
on it.
Yeah, well, that's illegal anyways, from what I understand, because there was a time there, 3 of us neighbors were talking about putting a well and we all share it, you know. But they went and they said, no, the county said, no, you can't do that because we are a community.
Well, and now with the H-cut ordinance,
Right.
within our distance to connect to us, you
Mhm.
can't.
Yeah,
So, and Sandy can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think as far as the improved property goes, it's if the property owner improves it.
Thank you.
Where,
Yes.
when the power company goes through, if you request them to put a pole
Okay.
on there,
Thank you.
then it becomes
Yeah,
your issue.
right,
But if they're going an easement through,
right, and that's what it.
am I?
But the
Okay.
power company should have to pay you to put their pole on your property, is what I'm thinking, but I know that's not gonna work either.
No.
Yeah, it's not a personal improvement. No.
Right. So, and that's the thing, because I know we have an easement that goes through our property that
Yeah.
we pay taxes on it, but they have control of it.
Yeah, Sandy, since they're doing all the poles for the electrical, are they gonna also, do you know if they're gonna put new poles for the lighting?
No,
Oh, they're not.
No, I'm gonna leave you in the dark.
Oh, we have good lighting there where we're at. I was just curious, just wanted to know.
No, they were replacing those poles because the new fiber optics and stuff were
Right.
supposed to be heavy.
Right.
And those poles weren't rated for that, so.
Which is fine, I'm glad we're getting new poles. As long as they put them in really good and when those winds come up, that it doesn't knock those poles on
We did
people's
have
houses.
on Saturday behind Pine Street, which I don't even know if they can get in that alley. We did have a 911 call that somebody said that possible electrical line down.
Okay.
So I had,
The only way they can get in there is through our property and we let them go through.
Yeah.
To, between Aspen and Pine.
Mhm.
That's the only way they can get in. They almost took the lady next door to us. They nearly scraped her top of her house going through there with a big truck to get to that pole that's in that alleyway between Aspen and Pine.
Well, years ago, they used to have the easements and
Yeah.
now people are blocking the easements where they can go through.
And they,
It's-
that's
it's
not
not right.
over the roads.
There's
Yeah,
one, there's
they
one,
over the road.
Easement roads.
I think it's
That's
between
right.
Juniper and Pine.
You're right.
Is the
Yeah.
only one that has an easement that
Mhm.
goes all the way through like it's supposed to,
Yeah,
but the rest of them don't.
and so isn't that supposed to be part of the county so then how could we stop that?
the county,
Yeah,
They're not
I don't want to do anything.
they
were
won't,
left out of
they're,
everything.
they are the ones that would have to come do it, cause
Oh, really?
even with this last project, in 2023, everybody was shocked to find out that part of their property where they fenced our fire hydrants in.
Mm.
I don't know why you put it, anyway.
That's a whole different
That's
story.
a whole story. And then like that 6 foot, cause we really have 6 foot from the road into people's property. People have landscaped clear out to the road.
And planted gardens.
And find the
That's
gardens and everything else, and they were appalled that we were gonna come in and do something. I'm like, I hate to tell you this, but there's an easement, a
Yeah.
6 foot utility easement from
Right.
the road into your house, which is 3 foot really that sidewalk and 3 foot in your house, in your property. And, we put things back, our goal was to put things back as good or better than we found it,
Mhm.
but they were really,
Yeah.
they were shocked.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocked that we were gonna.
My neighbor was complaining because the electric people came in and, the tree trimmers came in and they said they didn't even have permission. I said, they don't need
They don't
permission.
need permit.
They can come in,
Yeah.
and cut, trim trees that are interfering with the telephone line, or I call them telephone, the electric
Yeah.
lines.
And people who have sidewalks, my grandson got told that he couldn't ride his bicycle on the sidewalk on Manzanita Street. And it's outside of this guy's fence. And I was like, he told you what? That's county property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's public.
Mhm.
You mean like on the road? like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
roadside?
sidewalk.
Yeah,
Sidewalk.
outside of his fence.
Yeah.
And is it 6 or 7 foot in? Our 6 foot, yeah, we have fences that are right there. Our fences are inaccurate because they should be 6 foot in to make it actually what it's supposed to be.
Well, one thing too, I was watching for this because they replaced the pole like, that's catty corner right between my yard and Mrs. B Sauce outside the fence.
Uh-huh.
Well, the last time I think they replaced the poles,
Mhm.
they just put the wire there. So the wire was stretched out to my house. Pretty soon, I didn't have electricity in half my house. And I thought it was my fault, and I was gonna call the electric company, I mean, a plumb, I'm not a plumber, the
Electrician?
electrician. And I said, I'm gonna call the electric company and find out.
Mhm.
Well, when they came out, that's what it was.
Mhm.
They stretched the wire so much that it was disconnecting from my house. And I said, that could have started a fire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know how long, it took for it, the wind, we had a windstorm or
Yeah,
something and it
right.
disconnected the wire.
Oh, boy.
That's scary.
So that was scary.
So we need a motion and,
Well, it's a resolution, so we would need a roll
Roll
call.
call.
okay. So do we need a
We're gonna
motion
have a-
first, though, right?
Mhm.
We're gonna leave the fire tax alone, or we're gonna raise it?
Thank you. When was the last time it was raised?
So we actually raised it last year for the
Oh.
first time in 7 years.
So,
By 3%, so we went from 132 to 136 last year.
And if we raise it this year, where's it gonna go to?
And 140, for improved property,
$4.10.
Yeah,
65.71 for unimproved.
Was it 22?
It'll raise this overall, if everybody paid about 3,000 a year.
Or 65.71.
It was interesting that some of the old board members are gone. But if you didn't do it this year, you could raise it next year, you go back 3% plus 6% plus 9%. They got told, no, can't do it that way. And one person was on the board, it was the president,
yeah.
that dropped off here fairly recently. He was one of the biggest advocates and upset over being able to come in his yard. And he was the president of the board at the time. He was very upset.
Well, like Patty said, we got a new, so.
We already have a new truck, we have a new, what do you call the, emergency equipment,
Yeah.
hose.
So that could go for that, you know, yeah. Yeah. I mean, $4, what, an extra a year or whatever.
Or
onto
10,
it. Yeah, 410.
a year.
Yeah.
Divide it by
A year, because that's a yearly.
divide it by 12, you find how much.
And that money goes strictly to the fire department, correct? Okay.
Yeah,
Pays for training and insurance and
That's going,
fuel.
that's all going up.
so the new fire tax, if we approved it, would be 140.64,
64.
and the unimproved would be 63,
65.71.
65.71. That would go up how much?
$1.
$1.
So it'd be about 34 cents a
month.
That much? Oh, man, I don't know, I can't buy coffee anymore. Oh, I don't drink it, okay.
Honestly, my first thing was just to keep it the same this year because we haven't done a lot. The downside to that is the same conversation that we had last year, is if we don't raise it 3% this year, then costs go up and next year we're raising it, so we're always playing a catch up, but we didn't raise it for 7 years. But, you know, as long as we stay steady, I think we're good where we're at. But if we start actually, I mean, I know I've brought to this board several times about trying to make a meeting room out of that garage and getting that insulated, and if we want to do the door and stuff, those are all gonna take money out of there. Your financials
Yeah, right, how much?
right now. So this year, between interest and the community and Serco, we've collected $81,000.
Yes.
And that's about what we collect, between 70 and 80,000 every year.
We spend,
Right now, 86 or something, we have spent. $34,000. So right now, we've got a revenue or a profit of $46,000 with 3 months left.
But 8 months left. What did you say?
3 months left. of
Yeah,
this
3
year.
months, yeah, well, 2 months basically.
Yeah,
Where's out of it?
But if we were to,
no.
if we were to improve the small building out there, that'd probably cost us, what, 30,000 or something, just roughly? So that would knock us down to not much
Well, you do have,
income for the next year, right?
well, you do have cash in the bank, and on the fire side. Over $100,000, so, I mean, I grant you, we've got accounts receivable of $53,000. And I know we've got liens on a lot more pieces of property too, but, yeah, there is quite a bit of money in the bank if we decide to do it, so. The $3,000 more is not gonna break or make things, you know.
I believe it alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion that we keep the fire tax as is for the 2026 year.
So no increase?
Motion, a second.
All those in favor say aye.
I,
All right.
Thank you.
Can I interject something real quick? I'm always surprised at the number of people who think that they shouldn't have to pay that fire tax. And I have a hard time with trying to explain to them the importance of it. It's something that a lot of people don't understand is that if we don't have a fire department, then there is no MOU or MOA with Sierra Army Depot. And,
We have to be first responders.
somebody, yeah, and the other thing is a lot of people don't know this, but if you tell your people, your homeowner insurance, if you tell them that you are within 4 miles of a fire department, volunteer fire department, that affects your insurance rates. They will not accept Sierra Army Depot as a fire station, but they will our little volunteer.
No, they
fire
don't.
department.
No, they don't.
Ours does.
Ours doesn't.
Really?
mine does.
Mine doesn't.
You need to get a new fire.
Hey, we've had a fire, so I know what it's like
Yeah,
to have my house burned.
yes,
So I'm glad that, we do have a volunteer fire department.
yes,
Because Sierra, and I mean, they'll come out only if they don't have anything going on the base, but they will come out. Because they came out when we had our fire.
right.
But that was back then in
Right.
1996, so. That's a big difference now, but
It
yeah,
is.
but I'm glad we do have the volunteer fire department because then, they're there. And that's it,
Medical too.
Yeah.
And they respond mostly to medical, emergencies.
Yes.
Sandy, I wanted to ask you another question since we're on the fire discussion. The hydrants, are you guys going to clean them out or, how they let the water out?
Flush them out?
Yeah.
Flush them out.
That has not been done since they've redone all the hydrants.
We have done a few in West Patton Village, this summer, and there was a couple up here that we did. I was double checking everything at this time, but trying to get prepared for the elevated tank. We didn't get them all flushed, but yeah.
Well, I can
We did exercise, a portion of that.
flushing out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the guys are working on a flushing schedule for me, so we could have,
Oh, and make sure you hit Mountain View too.
yeah.
I don't see flushing sometimes being done.
Well, and the depot and the volunteer fire department used to do some of that too, and.
Yeah, you know, when we had our fire in 1996. There was no water in the hydrants, and that's why my house burned.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gutted.
Well,
John
just
can
an
tell you that,
hydrant, huh?
yeah,
It was just-
yeah, there was no water in there. I don't know if it's because they had flushed it out, but I don't remember them flushing it out, for
I
for a
doubt it.
long time, but yeah, there was no
It just
water.
wasn't working.
No,
Well, no, I
We
just.
didn't have enough pressure
Yeah.
to make it run. There was water, but not enough
Johnny
pressure.
remembers that because he's stopped us as we were coming back from Reno and let me know, and, oh yeah, I was devastated. I'm sure. Oh, yeah. Lost all my animals and, oh yeah, it was bad. I wouldn't wish that on anybody,
No.
not even, well, I don't have, enemies as far as I know. But I wouldn't even wish them on that.
No, it was
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Wow.
And on the
So I'm
medical,
glad we have a fire.
on the medical side, that MOU that we have with them is detrimental because
Oh, yeah.
I can remember being at the clinic and we were told we could not leave the
Yeah.
depot. And an individual in West Patton Village had to wait for an ambulance to come all the way from Susanville.
Mm.
And he was having cardiac arrest. They brought him up to the clinic
Yeah.
from the ambulance from Susanville. He got to the clinic and he died.
Okay.
And after that, they decided to let us have help again, but we had to lose Mr. Porter.
Yeah.
In that time frame when they shut us down to come out. And that's when Ken Porter,
Oh, Ken
which was
Porter, oh, yeah.
Amerigas man,
Yeah.
he was the one that passed away.
Mhm.
And there was such an outcry that the colonels ever since then
Yeah.
have gave a nod to let them come out. But then they didn't want to be first responders. That's why we needed
Yeah.
us, because now, once we have one person there that from the volunteers, if something happens, they can go to the prison and go back out of the depot. That releases them of that liability. But if we're not first responders, if we don't have first responders, when they show up, they can't leave.
Mhm.
That's the way the rules are. And so that's why people don't understand how important, it's like my neighbor lady, well, I don't pay fire department, I don't pay it, it's illegal. It's illegal to pay that, it's illegal. I said, well, it was voted on. I said, so I'll never pay it. I said, well, you get a lien against your house, I don't care,
Wow.
okay, I don't care. I'm thinking, you don't understand, how many times has our medical been to your house? A bunch. They've been there a bunch. Okay, it's not like once or twice, it's many times they've been there to that house, but they don't want to pay to help us out
Do you think that
for the
they
service.
do you think that they don't understand the correlation between the medical and the fire department, maybe?
I've explained it.
Okay.
It's adamant. It's illegal, I don't pay it. That's where it stops. No matter what I've said, it's not gone through it, and I've been doing this for 3 years, explaining it, okay? They still don't get it. So,
Yeah.
and that was something else I wanted to bring up. We have a very low threshold for somebody wanting to be on our board. And it's basically being a voter and a person in our area. And I would like for us to consider that if you're going to represent this board as a board member, that you need to be in good standing with our board. In other words, you pay your water bill and you pay your fire taxes. I think that that's just the way it should be to belong to the board. You should be in good standing. It's sort of hard to enforce something if you don't believe in it.
Mhm. That's right.
Or, that's just, my thinking, whatever you guys come up with is fine, but I want to throw that out there for us to, not now, but in the future, at another board meeting, if we have it put on our board thing to change the paperwork for that one extra item.
To the director's update, Johnny, since we're kind of out of line here.
Oh, okay.
Topic that you've asked to review the policy, that.
Yeah.
No,
Do we wanna do it?
no, well, no, we're not gonna give a date.
Okay, okay, sorry.
Soon as we can, we don't wanna do it at the November board. meeting,
Right, that was
so
my
we
thing.
could leave it at the December board meeting. Review policy and the board members' policy, and then you
Okay.
guys can add, delete, or look at it, and then I can bring it back. And usually when we do a review, it usually takes 2 meetings anyhow, because if you guys make any changes, we've got to run it through the attorney.
Right,
Make sure it's worded, and then we may finalize it in January, but
Okay.
I'll review it in December. How's that?
Okay.
So I've added that to your director's updates because we weren't on there yet.
Maybe you can also put down can read English.
do what?
Can read English.
No, really? The truck goes here?
So.
That is very sad though, it really, that is, and people dying like that because they don't know what's going on, sad.
Business.
GM report?
Okay, so as we spoke earlier, the fire department, the building itself, the repair's been completed, we're waiting on the door. The water on that side, we've got the recoating of the tank project going on and it continues. We're hoping that we're done through the end of November. On the wastewater side, I have a couple of concerning, items. We just paid Guest Plumbing to do a temporary fix really on the toilet, for the plant. And unfortunately, that line goes through the cement flooring, so it was $1,600 to do a temporary fix. But I would like to put it in the budget for next year to do a permanent fix, which means they have to take that cement up, and it's about a $22,000 bill. But I can't have my operators without a toilet, so. They're probably gonna kill me if I tell you this. The last couple of months, because of the problem with that line. Our guys, cause I was gonna put a toilet out there, cause when we redid the flooring in there, we actually put a porta potty out there, so that didn't have to do it, so I suggested we put a porta potty out there. They all brought their little baggies and used the toilet and then put their tissue in baggies and put them in the trash because they wanted to be able to use the toilet and not a.
Bless their hearts.
So, we have very hardworking guys that are trying to do the best with what they have, so, you know, and that facility is 25 years old, and I'm still not sure why there wasn't 25 years ago, things were different, but the piping they put under that cement flooring should have been a different caliber of pipe. My personal opinion from the later years, don't know what was available 25 years ago, so that's the one thing happening out there at the plant, but I would like to try to schedule that into our improvements or into our budget for 2025. The other problem that we're having at the plant that I brought up last year, and the reason why I went to the Susanville Sanitary District's board meeting. Anyway. I love you guys. I'm telling you, I had to, because I've been dealing with Steve Stump, the GM at Susanville Sanitary District, to come together because CNS Waste does not want to, they don't have enough drivers to keep hauling our biosolids, our shit to the landfill. There's a new gentleman that has stepped in at CNS Waste, Brandon, and he is really trying hard to help us through this. We pay $500 a load to go. We went and tried a contractor in Reno. They wanted $1,500 a load, so 500 to 15. Royce has dealt with Terry Mallory that does Randall's, rents it, those boxes, and he's got trucks. He was willing to do it for $1,200 a load. We've talked to Pee Wee's, they're willing to do it for $11.50. They did an RFP at Susanville Sanitary District, and Steve didn't even put it on the agenda. So I brought it, asked the president of the board to allow me to have a public comment later in their, at the end of their board meeting, so that I could bring it up to the board and let them know what was going on. And both of the contractors in Susanville said that we're not big enough because we only have possibly 2 loads a month that goes to there. Susanville Sanitary District has 1 to 3 loads a week that goes when they're up and running. Unfortunately, they've had problems with their digester and some things, and this is just a shitty pun, but they're full of shit right now because they haven't been able to get rid of their sludge in 3 months, so. You know, when we work in the shit business, we can talk like that, right?
Yeah, I noticed your cup.
So, anyway,
So you talking about them coming and draining from the plant?
no, so we have a process, so everybody's biosolids comes into the plant, goes up to our headworks. Then from after all of the garbage is taken out of the headworks, it goes into, yeah. And then go into our clarifier, but anyway, our bugs get to it, then we go ahead and once we've done our due diligence with it and we can get it down to old sludge, we press it and goes through our belt press and we take it and put it in a trash can. And then it goes to
Well,
there, we add, polymer to it, which makes it kind of like a jelly. Form, our duty bars.
but
So we send our duty bars to Lockwood.
It's brown jello, don't worry about it.
We get used to it. Anyway, it's no big deal. So. I can't wait to give you a tour.
be gagging the whole time.
And she does a good job of it.
So anyway,
Wow, well, that's
That's it.
interesting.
so, but we don't have enough, and so trying to get work with Susanville Sanitary District so we can get a contract together to get a better price on a hauler. So their board did direct Steve to work with me to try to get this done. We've not got anybody. I will say that CNS Waste has got a couple new drivers, but they still aren't fully staffed. And he was gonna talk to regionals because regionals telling them not to haul us anymore, and Steve's still being kind to try to haul at least 1 load a month for us. Since we own our own bins, we've got a little more leadway where Susanville doesn't even own their own bins.
Oh, wow.
So they've been using CNS Waste bins. So, in the meantime, I did contact, Lahontan, the State Water Board for our wastewater side, and seeing, cause back in the day, we have 640 acres behind the plant, and we talked about land application, cause we talked about possibly at one time, putting sprinklers out there and doing a hay field for non-edible animals, so the hay would have to go for like horses or something that wasn't being produced for human consumption. And Pat Conway stopped by Friday, well, I don't know what day it was, Monday, last week. This has just gone by, anyway, I said, you know, I'm looking at this and trying to figure out what I need to do to get a land application, cause Kirsten from Lahontan said, you know, keep me in the loop what you guys are thinking. He went through all of my lab reports and informed us that we have extraordinary biosolids. We have special shit. So, and because our shit is so good, We might be able to apply for a Class A application, which would allow us a little more leniency. When you go to a Class B, there's a lot of loopholes to go through. We might be able to do that. We would have to buy probably a dump truck so that we could actually press our sludge and then dump it in the back. But it would save us in the long run. So I am looking at different ways because we have to figure out how
To
to
move our kid.
to move our stuff, move our biosolids. So, I hope today's only Tuesday. I don't know if I'll get into town this week, maybe next week. I tried when I went to Susanville Sanitary District to meet with Pee-wee's, but they weren't available that day. Cause I'm being told that they have the truck and the facility. I don't see where Pee-wee's has the proper truck for this. It's a roll-off truck, so it's a truck and a trailer. When they come, they take two of our dump trailer or dumpsters at one time, and when they load them, they drop their trailer, they load the one dumpster, they connect to their trailer and then put the other dumpster on it. And when they go, so we're paying the $500 basically to get rid of two loads. So I don't wanna pay for a dumpster to go there and pay $1,000 for a little bit. I want both of those dumpsters to be able to go at the same time. But Steve from Susanville Sanitary District seems to think, and when I talked to Pee Wee, he told me he didn't originally have that equipment. So I want to physically walk and see this truck and trailer or what their assumption is, because looking for another out. So if Susan is seeing us say we can't do it anymore, which like I said, they've been very kind. And with us having 4 dumpsters, it gives us a leadway. It really gives us like a whole month. I mean, if we went a whole month without a load, we would, we do have 2 old dumpsters, because I don't know if Johnny and you and Lee remember that. I think 2 or 3 years ago, I requested from the board to buy the new dumpsters because the other ones were starting to rot through. And we bought those dumpsters 15 years ago. We bought 4 for 25,000, and 3 years ago we bought 2 for 25,000. So they're not cheap. But I have found out there's new biosolid dumpsters that would be even better than the ones we have.
And how much are those?
I did not get a price of those. We don't need any right now.
Okay.
Because the other thing that I'm finding out when I'm trying to explain to these new contractors, that unfortunately these dumpsters have like a cattle gate that opens. So when they put it up, they have to physically open that cattle gate. So sometimes the drivers are getting some splashback.
Don't.
But the new dumpsters actually have a rubber and it's more like a door. So whoever's unloading it
Right.
would be a cleaner job for them. So something in the future, not that I would suggest we spend $25,000 right now. On more dumpsters, but there is a new solution for that if we had to haul it ourselves, but. So we have possibilities. I still don't have an answer. I'd like to come to this board with a contract in the next hopefully in the next month, with the contract for a hauler so that we're not stuck with our own biosolids. So,
What about, a question, what about getting a truck?
yeah, I even had talked about possibly buying a truck and trailer and seeing if we could share it with Susanville Sanitary District. That has been something that, that has entertained the fact that you're talking a semi or a trailer. We've looked at different kinds of trailers. There was one on the auction. But I didn't know how old it was, and it was back east. Or when it was gonna go for. So we have been kind of looking at the availabilities. I mean, Royce does have his, class B license. So if he had to haul it to Lockwood, he could do that. Lockwood doesn't have a problem with taking it. It's just a matter of getting a driver and a truck and a trailer to get it there. But that equipment, new, I mean, Lassen Rents Terry Mallory was saying he would buy a truck and trailer and it was gonna cost him about $160,000 to buy the truck and trailer, and hence why he figured $1,200 a load, with a 3% increase every year for, fuel and mileage on his trailer plus his payments of that. So it's, and we've definitely looking at a lot of different options and seeing what we can do. And you know, the old idea of going back to a land application might not be a bad idea. I don't know how many times I'd have to jump through a hula hoop to get there, but when Pat Conway from California Rural Water was here, he acted like and said that we have extra clean biosolids, so, and we may not have to jump through as many loopholes as some other places would. So, which I'm, you know, usually with the prison, we don't even have that option. So now that you know all about the biosolids and the piles we've had going on, and the stuff there, so that's, I think that was bringing in all the different things that I might need for the board packet. The one thing that I was telling Johnny about today was we did do, just in case, from Western Nevada Supply, I did have Owen, he drew up a little schedule. We were afraid that, a hydro tank, one of our hydro tanks might fall, and we want to make sure that we could have the right PSI, so you guys wouldn't notice it if something would happen. So we do have 6 hydro tanks, small hydro tanks setting in there, to the tune of the facility of about $6,500. But they're still in the boxes, they're still on the pallets, and I hope when they're done recoating the tank that we can have Western Nevada Supply come and just pick them back up and credit back our account. And which Barney at Western Nevada Supply said that would not be a problem. If we didn't use them, they would take them back. So, but it was just the help Roy sleep and me sleep that we had a backup plan to our backup plan. So, we did work on that too. So staff in the office and staff out of the office has been very busy this last month. And I appreciate all of you guys' support. So, I think that's all I have.
Well, you do have where Sherry and Miss Hartman went to classes.
Yes, I didn't know if Sherry wanted to talk about her leadership conference. Her and Miss
Like, not really. No, because honestly, it was the same, and very similar, the SDLA governance when I originally went. And then the financials, I mean, I do that anyway, where I work currently plus here, so. And I'm pretty sure we all know about the financials and read them very well, so. I think we're good there.
I do need to ask you to circle back to resolution 2025-03, where the board voted to keep the fire tax the same.
Yes,
We need to do a roll call vote.
okay,
So,
Sherry,
yeah, I get to do it.
you get to do it, okay,
You
go
told
ahead.
me last time I had to do it.
Oh, okay, well, at least go for it.
Aye.
Very okay. Director Harris?
Aye.
Director Johnson?
Aye.
And Director. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Hey.
We won't interrupt you anymore, Johnny. We'll let you finish that up.
director's updates, you have anything? Sure.
No, I'm gonna be gone for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna take a personal day this Friday and get out of town and just get out of here. Not deal with anything and anyone,
Good girl.
so
Right.
girl.
Go for it.
I'm having one of those, I'm about ready to break. Yeah, I need to get out of here, so.
Need a break.
I'm itching.
You
So,
need a break before you break.
yes, I do, very much so.
Yes, Mr. Harris,
I'm good.
I'm sure glad to hear that. Mrs. Johnson,
I do have one thing to bring to all of our attention. I talked to Sandy today to make sure that it was okay to bring it up at this particular meeting, because it really has nothing to do with HPUD. But,
That's for our community.
it does for our community. Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna put that in there. I'm on the board for Northeastern Health Clinic over in Susanville. And, we've been seeking board members for Northeastern for quite some time now. We're down to below 9 board members, and we have a governing body over finances that's called HRSA that will eventually have some serious negativity going on as far as keeping that health clinic open if we don't get the right number of board members on board to govern Northeastern Rural Health Clinics. So I'm saying that to all of us, in case any of you know anyone or want to volunteer for Northeastern Rural Health Clinics Board. We do our board meetings by Zoom. And like us, they're once a month. I think it's every third or every fourth Thursday, but you don't have to look at my calendar to be sure. And if you know of anybody who'd be interested in even talking about it with me, I would really appreciate it, because we've been going without the right number of board members for quite a while now. And HRSA can come in and completely shut that whole health clinic over there down. The only reason I'm still on that board is because, number one, we're already below the number that we're supposed to have.
How many are you supposed to do with Viola?
9, no less than 9, and I believe we can have up to as many as 15. The other reason I'm on that board is because the reason I got on the board to begin with for Northeastern was because we at one point in time had a health clinic in Doyle, which served
Once upon a time.
served South County, and it was really a blessing to have that. When I worked at the health clinic, we sent people from our clinic over there to be seen by physicians and physician assistants and nurses, practitioners,
So,
practitioners.
Yeah. So how long has the clinic in Doyle been closed?
Quite a while. And the reason for that is because getting providers, doctors, and so forth out here to rural health clinics, rural areas is really, really difficult. And I understand that, but where I have a little bit of a problem on a personal level is Westwood has the people there to operate and keep them open and take care of the people in the Westwood area. And I'd like to, I'm getting a little personal with this, but I'd like to see some of that happen down here for us.
Yeah.
Now, but the huge problem is that if we don't get enough board members, eventually they could come in and close that entire clinic down. I know there's other health clinics over there, but there's a lot of people who use that clinic over there for Northeastern. So if you know of anybody, feel free to give them my phone number. I can get them an application and have them fill it out and send it in. And then the board will, vote on accepting or rejecting.
How is that building down there, the in Doyle, the old clinic building, is it even feasible that it could
It
be
used to,
reopened?
yeah, it used to be, it's never been used as a health clinic, but it used to be in town, in Susanville. And I'm trying to remember.
Well, they did,
Yeah, we-
they did use.
Yeah, we used it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
Not the one that's there.
Not the one that's there now.
Not the one that's currently there, no.
Just
It
the
has
sheriff
never been-
department, so he wouldn't use it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they did.
What happened to the old building then? Cause that,
Yeah,
I used
no,
to take
that-
my mom
that-
there.
My mom, I
Yeah.
would take mine there too.
But they
and my
did,
dad.
they did use it during the COVID, cause I remember going over there to get, what is it,
Oh, no,
math, what is it?
Yeah,
They
the
did.
testing kits.
Yeah, and they
Mhm.
came from the clinic.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean,
but to be seen there as a patient,
Yeah.
there's nobody being seen there as a patient, has never been.
is that a new building since 20 years ago?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
a used building from Susanville that was
It's
brought
new
out
from
here.
the one that you remember,
Yeah.
yes. It's not the same building.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an old,
yeah,
it's the building that was in Susanville that was brought out here
okay,
to replace the one that was being
Right.
used years ago. Yeah,
yeah, it's a modular. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
but the problem is, we really, I don't know, they, it's just a matter of time. So if you know of anyone or anybody who feels like they want.
Patty and Norm are there. It's a different building when Patty and Norm
Yeah.
are there.
And Melody,
And Melanie,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
and the meetings are done by Zoom, so you don't even have to leave your house. Like, we have to come here for a board meeting? Nope, we have Zoom meetings. And the board chairperson, who is Marge Garrett of, what's the name of that
Bird
ranch
Flat.
out there, Bird Flat Ranch? She opens up and just like you would for Zooms here and allows anybody in on the board to have the meetings and conduct the business. And they, you know, up at Northeastern, they have the doctors and the physician assistants and nurse practitioners, and they have urgent care, and they have a dental operation up there, so they do quite a bit of work up there.
Yeah, but I checked out for dental. That's why my doctors are in Reno.
True,
No,
true. I go to Reno for all of my care as
Yeah.
well. But for the people out here who cannot afford it or don't
Right.
have a way to get there, there's a lot of elderly people out here.
Insurance won't cover you in Nevada.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Some of it doesn't.
Nice thing for Northeastern, like with my mom, I mean, we're in Standish, so it makes it really nice. It's easier for her to go to Northeastern Rural Health Clinic. But if you get prescriptions, because they have a thing with the state, if you get your prescriptions through Northeastern at Walgreens, you get a discount. And so if you don't have a prescription plan, it works out really nice. So even when my mom, with all the different cancer doctors and stuff, Northeastern would prescribe them and they were cheaper coming from Northeastern's physicians and through Walgreens than they were picking them up anyplace else. So it's really a help for a lot of elderly people that don't have.
I go there.
Well, I was
For
I
primary care.
Yeah.
And I have 2 other doctors in, but I go there for primary care.
yeah, I did
And I
for a
go
long
have my
time.
blood,
until we
my
left
blood
the
lab
UNC.
there. Said it's easier to get in there for blood work or your lab work.
Yep,
and the beautiful part about it is if you need an emergency room, it's just a walk away. The banner is right there.
Yeah.
well, I wish that they would just have a clinic there.
The clinics there just don't have the personnel to
Now
manage.
they're getting beats 6-1, 7th inning.
Who is? The arm? Oh, yeah.
Update, yep, that's it, update.
And what's his name? He's pitching too. Yeah, he is, he was pitching.
Who?
Shohei Ohtani was pitching.
Hmm.
So do we have anybody else that's got updates?
The seniors over in Doyle have taken on the lunch program that was run by the community church out of Susanville for the kids in the Doyle Hurlong area.
Oh,
And of course, that didn't start till June. And we've been out raising money for the whole club, which can help pay for it. They're going to have a cake sale and stuff on the Saturday coming up next Saturday.
this Saturday.
Yeah, cake or pie sale, I'm sorry, it's a pie sale and the yearly Christmas bazaar.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the bazaars there, and they've booked the place out totally. There's like no room for anybody else to join and get in, so it's really being a lot of participation. They're gonna have chicken noodle soup and hamburger soup and something else, and the pie sales.
Oh, that date,
The Saturday,
This Saturday.
this coming Saturday?
11/1.
yeah, it's called the first.
The 1st of November. John, I wanted to ask you, since you are part of that, are they still going to try to implement the food pantry for the senior
Yes,
center?
the update on that, the building across the street has been totally redone. We had the inspector from Susanville come and check it out. The only thing that has to be done, it's been sealed and fixed and walls fixed and everything you can think of and painted, except for the floor, even the cracks in the floor are filled, but they have to put some type of linoleum or something down on the floor. And once that's down, then they'll be able to have, Miriam from Nevada come up and inspect it and give a seal where they can start having a food bank over there.
Was that the old True Value building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in a corner. All that part is, it's not gonna be getting food there. That's, we have to have a place to store
To store
the
it.
food. The food will be got
Still
up
at the
at the,
senior, yeah,
it was like always,
yeah.
like before. And it's been a year, this October was a year, it's been shut down. And it seems like it takes forever to get something done, so I don't know when, once they inspect. I don't know when we can actually get a truck scheduled to come out and actually read food. They're talking about doing it once a month like they used to do it.
But from Reno, that's what I'm understanding.
Right, instead of Sacramento, no, Sacramento with us, they didn't have truck drivers and stuff to come up. That's why we lost
Yeah,
the food that we had previously. So now it's gonna come from northern Nevada, so it'll be the same food that they get at the church,
mhm,
okay? They get in Janesville and Milford and everywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't, if they're looking at doing it one day and they're not, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a Friday or Saturday at this time until they see when the truck comes out, because the truck that
Right.
brings out the stuff for our local church and stuff, there's like 6 entities that get food off of that one truck.
right,
And there's the truck that goes to Milford and one other place only has like 2 setups on it, and they're hoping to get the food on that truck.
right.
That way there'll be room for it, so. There's a little, mix going on in there. The only other thing I wanted to say is, happy Halloween. And a motion to dismiss the meeting. Somebody,
Motion we
somebody's
dismiss,
gonna say,
I motion we dismiss the meeting.
and I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, close 7:24. All right, thank you, everybody.
See you next time, huh?
Hey.